Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another 10 p.m. with BK. Hi, my name is BK. And as usual, if we are friends, obviously you know that. And if you're not, you're watching this from a public stream because this is set to public. Feel free to come and be a friend, right? Come and be a friend. So I was a few seconds late because, as you can see today, I am on a slightly different platform. I'm on a slightly different platform. So tonight, first things first, we are on day number 12. Day number 12 of a 100-day live stream challenge. Those of you who are joining us for the first time tonight, I started a 100-day live stream challenge, and this is now day number 12, and we are in double-digit territory. So pretty excited about that. And I also want to quickly just thank all the friends who have actually been watching, and then some have given me feedback and tips and pointers, right? And shared about some of the things I talked about yesterday. So that has been very, very useful. Thank you so much, right? And I also would like to um, kind of it's kind of interesting because there's been a lot of support coming in. It's interesting to see how people are always ready to be rooting for you, right? Is ready to be rooting for you. So this is probably something that I would like to encourage any one of you out there watching this. If you're thinking about starting something, just be rest assured that as long as you declare out to your friends or you declare out to the world, there will always be people rooting for you. And that is the wonderful thing about this when you try to do something and you start something. I mean, it could be as easy as deciding to lose some weight, for example, right? You would have friends who will be there to support you, right? Or you will be able to find people who will be there to support you. And that is the wonderful thing about when you announce your decision or you announce your intention to the universe, so to speak. So this is something that I've kind of experienced for the past few days with friends coming in and sending private messages and say, hey, I saw your live stream. Hey, you're doing a good job. Hey, and all kinds of nice things and all kinds of encouraging things. So of course, the other way around is when I then ask them, hey, are you happy to come and join us as a guest? Now, some of them will obviously be a bit more reserved, which is totally fine and understandable, right? But it's kind of like what I want to bring across is this idea that if you decide to do something, there will always be people support you. So go for it, right? Go for it, And when you are not decided yet, just know that when you have made the decision, there will always be people to support you, and I can almost guarantee you that, right? So, and also because of this series of live streams that I've been doing, it also kind of brought up interesting conversations with people, whether it's old friends or new friends, and then we started talking about things, and it kind of brought out interesting stories, right? And one of the comments that was made was that we kind of in this new landscape of the internet, of the of social media, and of all this new technology that we have easy access to, everybody seems to be trying to become like a guru or an expert or a leader in a certain field, right? And I was just commenting to a friend just today that there's something I heard recently from a comment. Somebody made a comment, something like this, that says that when everyone is a news station, no one is, right? Which kind of makes sense because in the past, we used to give a lot of credit and reputation to very select few official, so-called official news channels, and we kind of give them more credit for the kind of information they report, But today, in this world where anyone with a camera or anyone with a smartphone, anyone with internet connection can literally start a TV station, even like this in the sense, right, would have been a TV station, right? Now that I'm live streaming out to a potential audience, it is kind of like I have a TV station, but I did not need to invest in all kinds of licensing fees or equipment and a building and stuff like that, right? So, but the thing is, we also can think of it another way, which is that not everyone is trying to be the expert or the guru or the leader. And sometimes doing all these things, like for example, when my initial motivation for this was actually to challenge myself to do, and this is actually meant to be a personal discipline challenge, right? And of course, it will evolve into other things, I hope, right? Over the 100 days, right? But, and also the other thing is that sometimes we kind of do not need to be a massive news broadcast station or a celebrity or an expert or a leader in any way to be able to help people. And to bring across this point, again, today we kind of, it's like I said, we started a lot of conversations with people. And this is a story that was reminded by a friend today. The story about helicopters, and it's a story about a jeep, a boat, and a helicopter. And after I finish this story, I guess you will know why it is relevant to what we're talking about now, right? So there was this person who obviously believed in God, right? And there was a time when he was actually near a river, and the river was starting to overflow and it was beginning to flood. And very soon, as the river started to rise rapidly, warnings were given over the radio, the TV, and the shortwave, basically telling people that they need to evacuate and leave the house, right? So as that news appeared on the thing, there was a jeep that drove by the man's house, and the jeep driver owner was saying that, "Hey, do you want to hop on? And I can give you a ride out to safety. You are in danger. You must evacuate. Let us help get you to safety." The man kind of said, "Nope, it's okay. I have faith in God. God will save me. I will be okay. The flood won't get me. God will take care of me," right? And so the jeep driver just went on his way, right? Now the water then continued to rise. Water continued to rise. Now this time, because he was a two-story building, a two-story house, he went up to the second floor. Now then a boat was going through the area and arrived next to the person's house, and seeing that there was a person inside the house, the people on the boat were saying that, "Hey, you're in danger, your life is at stake, you will drown in the flood, and come on, hop on, we'll take you to safety," right? But again, the man said, "No worries, I have faith, everything is okay. Even though the flood is rising, I'll be fine, God will take care of me," right? And then the flood obviously continued to rise. So this time, he had nowhere else to go but to go all the way to the roof of the house, right? Because the river was really rising very, very fast. And a helicopter pilot flew past and saw him on the roof. And then again, obviously, using a megaphone, told him that, "Hey, you are in danger. The flood is still rising. You will drown if you do not grab the rope ladder. Let me help you," right? And the guy again replied, "No worries. I will be fine. Yes, the flood is higher, but I have faith God will take care of me." And so he didn't take the helicopter as well. Now the flood eventually overran his house and the man drowned. And at the pearly gates, he was right in front of God. He was asking, "Hey God, I had faith, but why did you let me die?" To which God replied, "I sent you a jeep, a boat, and a helicopter. What more could I have done for you?" Right? What more could I have done for you? So this is in line with the point of this story, is obviously to say that sometimes we do not need to look for answers in a very spectacular fashion. And answers need not come to us in very spectacular fashion. So in a very interesting way, as I was talking to my friend, discussing about this idea that everyone is trying to do live streams and trying to be an expert and trying to be a leader. Well, yes and no. And the good thing is, what happens is that the person might not be truly an expert. or may not be there yet, but at least he's trying, right? Even like myself, I don't declare myself to be an expert in any way, but it could be a jeep, it could be a boat, and obviously the highest end in this case, a helicopter, the most expert vehicle in this case, maybe the expert maybe down the line, right? So that's what I'm trying to express here. Sometimes when I ask my friends, hey, you want to hop on and share, while they think that they needed to be the helicopter, they could actually be just a jeep, which will still serve someone very well, right? Or they could be the boat that will still serve someone very, very well, right? We don't all have to be helicopters. We don't all have to be the highest end machinery and that, right? So we could be the simple jeep or the simple boat, and we can still help people. So I really want to encourage you, if you do have even the slightest inclination, which one of my friends did actually tell me about this. She was thinking, hey, I kind of feel that I want to do something like what you're doing, but I'm not very confident, and I just told her, I say, go for it, right? You definitely have things you can share that will benefit someone, and you wouldn't know about it. And if you don't share it, then that person who was waiting for the jeep, waiting for the boat, wouldn't get the jeep and the boat, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. So, and of course, when we get information like this, and the things I say or the things that you listen to people, always remember this concept called trust but verify, right? So we may want to listen to what people are saying, and especially this day and age, right? Everyone is trying to say something. We can trust but always verify, right? We can learn but always verify, right? And before you make it your own. The end of the day, no matter whether it's an expert or a guru or a non-expert in your opinion, I always believe that you can always learn something from everybody, right? But of course, after that, you need to evaluate based on your own reasoning and assimilation. Then you decide whether that information is actually relevant to you or not, right? Because when somebody gives an advice, it's usually from their perspective and from their experience, and it may not be relevant to you, right? Right. So that's the thing that I always believe in. I listen to a lot of people. I learn from a lot of books and audibles, and I attend courses as well. But it doesn't mean that everything I will take wholesale, right? I will still have to verify or evaluate and then see how it assimilates into my life, right? Now, of course, the other thing is I also noticed something recently as well, that when you do ask someone more successful than you are, more wise than you are for advice, and then you don't act on it, right? That means you ask someone who is wiser for advice and then you don't act on it. Guess what happens? They won't offer it again. They won't offer it again. So when you ask someone who is wiser in a more successful position than you are, take their advice, evaluate and then take their advice, right? Because the interesting thing about people who are wiser, I have noticed, right, is that they very often are very, very respectful, and they honor the agency of others to make their own decision. I always notice that when people who are really wise and successful, they really will honor your agency. Like when they give me advice and I don't take it or I don't act on it, they won't pound on me. They won't kind of like, push me to take the step that I should be taking, no matter how much they see it, right? Because they honor the agency of me making my own decisions, right? Perhaps it's not the right time, and perhaps I need more growth, right? So that has always been one of my observations, that very, very wise people, very, very successful people, when they offer you advice, they typically will also honor your agency to decide, right? This is something that I've been learning recently. This concept of honoring the agency of another person to make their own decisions. sometimes, we feel, why is this person not doing this thing that I think he should be doing or not doing, right? But yeah, I think it comes with wisdom, right? So that kind of sums up the morning part of the day for me, because I kind of said that this live stream is also like a video diary of sorts, right? I hope that those things I shared is beneficial to you. Now I'm actually good. So yesterday we had a very interesting episode. Some of my friends really gave me comments, and they liked. I mean, they learned some things. I'm thankful that they did. Right. Today is actually behind the scenes part two, a little bit, right? Because yesterday you noticed we were all talking about hardware, right? The lights, the camera, the sound mixer, the microphone, right? Which I did earlier on, and also like the speakers and so on, right? So that's the hardware part of it. But over the next few sessions, I'm going to um, let you try along with me as I try some other the software part of it on how we can do a live stream like this. So for example, today I'm actually using a platform called Melon. Nice name for a platform, right? It's called the Melon app, right? If you do want a referral link from that, please send me a message. There's a referral link that I can send to you. So they are now currently in beta, which is quite a good. So I'm kind of testing it now. Now, of course, I need to take it through the paces. So I will need to try on for a few days. And obviously, just now I was a little bit late because when I tested it, I didn't know that there were a few other things I needed to do, right? So right now, looks pretty okay. I can show my camera and unshow my and then I show my camera again. And then I can also show my name if I want to on the left here, okay? And I can also choose not to, right? And of course, the logos and all these things are there. There's a banner and there's a ticker on the bottom, right? So these are some of these things that I have been exploring. Now, at the same time, I can also share screen. So we have not tried that. So I'm going to try it now because I also wanted to show you a bit of a part two of yesterday's behind the scenes. So let me just share screen. And you are experiencing this with me for the first time because I'm actually literally doing it live. So I apologize in advance if some hiccups. So we try and fix it if there's a hiccup along the way. Okay. So let me just hit share and you should be able to see my screen. Okay, so you will see this thing where it goes into infinity because you're looking at my screen and I'm showing the video. But let me just take that away first. So now I cannot really see what I'm seeing, but what I wanted to show you today was this. So so what you're seeing here, let me just show you again. Hang on. So this is actually the software that is running the live stream, right? So you have this side here is actually the software, and then these are the settings, right? And then you can choose which camera to use, for example. So I'm going to minimize it now. So this is what's running the software side of the thing now. But of course, there's also other things that you need to control. So for example, like for my case, now also remember yesterday's sharing that you can choose to do this way. This is like a bicycle that can help you to get from point A to point B faster, or you can choose not to as well, right? So I have obviously invested in quite a number of tools. So yesterday you saw the mixer, and this Rodecaster Pro is the mixer. And what you can do actually is I can actually adjust the settings. And this is the effects monitor. So you notice that there's a bit of audio processing going on this microphone that is done by software. So you have things like a high pass filter, a noise gate. A noise gate helps to reduce the room noise, right? So it's good when, For example, you have the computer fan running. You also have like the air conditioning that may be running. All these things will generate noise. So a noise gate helps to reduce that and makes the program or the live stream a bit more pleasant for your listeners. Then there are things like a de-esser, which cuts down the S sound. Some people have very sibilant voices, so that is good as well. And a compressor basically makes sure that you're not too loud and not too soft. So if I suddenly shout, for example, then it will make sure that I don't blow the microphone, right? And also there's something here called Aphex Aural Exciter, which makes the voice a bit more exciting, as the name suggests. And also there's what is called big bottom. So some people like the big boomy radio voice, but in this case I turn it off. So these are the things that you can do behind the scenes from a software perspective, right? So this is the audio part. Now then, this is something that is very, very fascinating as well. This is the routing of your audio, right? Now again, if you just use your computer's onboard microphone, then none of these things you actually need to bother. But when you have certain other objectives in mind, then you need something like this, right? So for example, in this case, you will notice that whenever I talk, there's a line. So this is now my microphone that goes into a software here. It's called a plug-in. And this plug-in, what it does is that it makes sure that the audio levels are at the industry standard. That means when it goes to YouTube or Facebook, it is loud enough for that platform, okay, so that they don't do anything else to your audio, okay? And then it goes to this part here, which is a output device, which is then going to here. So this is the loop back. So if I turn this off now, you won't hear a single thing, because you notice whenever I talk, the levels go up, right? So that's where the microphone is going, okay? Now, and then because I have monitor speakers here, so whenever I say something or I play music, I don't want the music to come out from the speakers, right? Because then it will be fed into the mic and it will cause an echo for the listener. So I need it to only play in my earpiece, which I'm monitoring here, which is what this little piece of thing here is doing, right? So you notice that if I play a sound effect now, you would have heard the sound effect, right? I also hear the sound effect in my earpiece, and I know it's working because it goes from here, right? So again, so this is how it is set up such that I can have an optimal experience for my live stream, or obviously also for my online meetings that I conduct quite regularly, right? So this is the way I set it up. Because if I don't take care of it this way, then what happens is that normally the speakers will play out the audio. I need to turn on echo cancellation inside, say, Zoom, and the audio quality will then drop because there's a software audio echo cancellation. But I am manually doing it now so that the thing becomes more optimized, right? And the beautiful thing about this setup here, this is called audio hijack. I can also record separately. So for example, if I have another recording device or I have a recording device on my computer, I can choose to record it separately, or I can choose to record into multiple backups in case I'm super careful so that I don't have a missing recording. So for example, if I'm hosting like a very important show where guests have been invited, I want to make sure that nothing will go wrong in the sense, right? So I have backups of backups, right? So when I stream to, say, Facebook, or I use Zoom, for some reason, let's say the recording failed on Zoom or the recording failed on Facebook, I then have a backup on my own because I have backed up to a third party to another platform. Okay, So that is the software side behind the scenes. That is the software side behind the scenes. So, and of course, today I'm taking this new platform called Melon, Melon app for live streaming through the Paces. So I will take a look back at the replay because right now I'm live, I can't see it. And then I can give you some end of the whole testing phase. Then I can give you some like feedback on what is a good platform to choose. So far, we have tried a few, right? We have tried Zoom, we have tried Restream. We are now trying a third one which is Melon, and there are some others that we will try along the way because some are free, some are not free, some are more expensive than others. So, like in this day and age, we should be prudent and frugal. And I hope to be able to provide you value by kind of testing out all these things so that, you know, if you are keen to do this for your business, for whatever purpose you have decided to do it for, then at least I can shortcut the learning curve for you, right? So, yep, that's it tonight. Hope it has been interesting for you. Please feel free to comment and let me know what other things you would like me to try and find out and for you, right? I guess my